Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Life with Annie. My name is Annie, and this is my life. How's everybody doing this morning? I know everybody's watching the news about the hurricane. You see my antique picture. So I thought, since we still have apples, we would make a breakfast using apples. And I have fallen in love. Good morning, Melissa. I think that's Melissa. I'll put my glasses on in a minute. I have fallen in love with Dutch babies. So I found a recipe that uses apples in the Dutch baby. Oh, I want to show you remember last fall when I had my simple thing and it was the little glass, little goblet type cup that I need to dig out because it's that time of year with the fall leaves on it? Well, I found a fall leaf coffee cup at the dollar store. So this is my simple thing for this fall. I thought they were so pretty. I've got one right here that I got for my mother, so I'm going to wrap that up for her. So she'll have a simple thing. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a recipe, and it's called Cinnamon Apple Dutch Baby Pancake. Now, I've made just the regular Dutch Baby pancake, and then I made a blueberry one before, and then I was just looking through some recipes and I found one using apples. So I've got one where it takes 3 apples. And when I was at the Apple Festival, I just bought an assortment of apples. And I know that you use different apples for different recipes. Like if you're going to do a pie or something, you might want a firmer apple like a Granny Smith or a more tart apple. Me being a Southern cook, I kind of like everything to be kind of soft. I don't want to say mushy because that's probably not a fantastic word to use, but basically that's what it is. I like everything to be really soft and tender. So I just pulled, 3 apples out of my little apple stash, and we're going to use these. I've already sliced up 2 of them, but it said to slice your apples really thinly, because your Dutch baby isn't going to have to cook that long, so you want your apples to get tender. And I don't know what is in my oven, but the last couple of times I used it, it's smoking, and something evidently burned on the bottom of it. I have some of those liners on my shelves, but I took those out. This one, I thought I would wash those and get that smell out. I don't know what it is. I don't remember cooking over anything or... And I would have been on here a lot sooner, but... Do y'all ever watch The Twilight Zone? There was an episode on this morning and it was so good. I'll put my glasses on in just a second. Hey Linda, good morning. Good morning, Pam. I can kind of see your little icons there, but I can't see just yet without my glasses. But anyway, it started at 8 o'clock, and I've gotten to where on Sunday morning sometimes they'll come on and I get kind of drawn into them, and this was one that I think I'd seen it before, but I forgot about it. But it was an hour long, so that's why I'm a little late getting on here. Alright, so we've got our apples sliced up. I've got down here with my garbage bowl and put my glasses on so I can make sure I'm saying good morning to the right people. Yes, Melissa, Pam. Thank you, Pam. You do as well. And Linda. Okay. I guess I better leave them on so I can see. All right. In another bowl, I've got 4 eggs that I'm just going to whisk up. Break your yolks up, or as I say, poke the yolk. And I'm just a little tip about when you crack your eggs, because I did this morning and I've done it many times and it always works for me. But if you crack your eggs and a little piece of the shell goes into your bowl, if you use that same eggshell and stick it down, it kind of draws the little chip of the egg back to it. I don't know what the scientific reasoning is behind that, if it's remembers that it's part, you know, of that egg or what, but ever since I heard that tip many years ago, I've used it, and it's worked for me every time. Have another sip of my Simple Thing coffee. And I've got my oven preheated. Hey Shelby, welcome. I am, and I hope you're doing well as well, or also. Good to have you on here. Glad to see you. All right. So I've got the 4 eggs mixed up, and I've melted 4 tablespoons of butter in the oven already at 400 degrees, and I'm using real butter, so yeah, it works really well, Linda. So I've got that sitting back there waiting on me. I'm going to go ahead and add our other ingredients in. You need 3/4 of a cup of flour, and I'm using the plain all-purpose flour because we're going to add some baking powder to it. Set that down in the sink. And it looks like this hurricane is totally changed its path from Thursday. So for all you people in Georgia, Linda, is it coming anywhere near you? It sounds like we're going to get some wind and some heavy rain at this point, but I'm just going to kind of wait and see what happens. I'm also going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk to our mixture, and a tablespoon of sugar that I've already got measured out here, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. No, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I should have already probably mixed these dry ingredients together, but I was running behind, so. And then it's 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. And this is a brand new baking powder. I just opened it, so always check the dates on your baking powder and make sure they're still good, because a lot of times if they're not, your recipes won't rise. All right, so I'm gonna mix all that together. Make sure I have everything: butter, apples, flour, milk, salt, baking powder, sugar, and eggs. Yes. I love Dutch Babies. I can't believe I waited so long to try that initial Dutch Baby, and I just love them. They're like a custardy flavor, and I usually just sprinkle powdered sugar on mine because they're really sweet enough. And this is a really easy recipe. I've even thought maybe I'll just come in here one day and just do a bunch of little like dry packets of the dry mixture for the Dutch Babies, label them, date them, and put them in a bin or something, and then whenever I want a Dutch Baby, I can just come in here. I'll have my measurements already out. I just need to add the eggs and the liquid ingredients. Alright, and you're going to have lumps. I always have lumps with these things, but no problem there. It's still tasty. All right. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to bring over our pan. That little free apple core that I got at the Apple Festival, it works great. Alright. So here we go with our butter, and I'm just going to kind of swirl it around so that it gets on the sides. And it says to use a 12-inch skillet. And the one I usually make it in is a little bit smaller than this, and it's non-stick, so I thought, well, I'll try it in this one. I think this is about what I need. Might be taller than I need, but we're going to use it anyway. I will post it, Linda. Yes, I certainly will. Alright, so what you need to do now is take your apples and just put them in the bottom of your pan along with your butter. And just kind of spread those around. Let me wash my hands. And then you're going to pour over your Dutch Baby mixture. Get another spatula here. Alright, and so we've got some butter seeping up on the side, so that's a good thing. Alright, and then the last thing we're going to do, and I didn't bring a bowl over to mix this, so I'm just going to do it in another coffee mug. Let me take another sip before it gets, I always let my coffee get cold. But you want to mix a half a cup of sugar. And move on this simple thing. And you know me and my cinnamon. It calls for 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And you know I always pull back on that cinnamon a little bit. This is an actual teaspoon. I'm just probably going to do the 1. I like cinnamon in some things, but then in some things I don't. So we're going to put a little bit instead of the whole thing. Mix that up. And then you're just going to sprinkle this over the top of your batter and apples. Make sure I get that nicely mixed. Let me try to do a little bit with the spoon first. And then you're going to bake this for 20 to 25 minutes at 400. And remember, these Dutch babies, they poof up really big and then they deflate. And they are so good. And I'm kind of curious to see what this one tastes like with all the apples. It's really going to be sweet. Alright, so let's just kind of get this all over. And you probably won't even need any powdered sugar or anything on this one. And down over the top, the rest of it goes. Alright, so I'm going to put this in the oven and I'll bake it for 20 to 25 minutes. And hopefully it'll turn out as well as all the other ones have that I've made. So I've used some more of my apples. I have one other recipe that I really want to try. I have had it before. I didn't make it, but I have had it before, and it was really good. And it's just a little bit, there's one little odd ingredient in it, but maybe I'll come on live and do that when I get around to doing it. But it won't be today, I don't think. Alright, so let me I've got to use them soon though, because my apples are going to start turning. They're okay now, but they're going to start turning. Alright, so let me put this in the oven and bake it. I will post a picture, and I will put the recipe on Life with Annie's page. So thank you all for watching. If you're in the path of this storm, in any regard, whether it's just heavy rain, wind, just be careful. If you need to leave wherever you are, I know that it's kind of late for some people, but just stay safe, and I hope to see you again real soon. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Bye.